including that it's all driven by they requested a temporary shutdown of work, and that's because of some long lead times with certain items that they haven't been able to procure, and also because of the Cape Horn Road redesign. Now, anything with procurement of materials is really, you know, that's not necessarily a reason for a shutdown. And so we're reviewing that for the contract, and we requested an additional schedule. We have a couple options to proceed with that. We just want to make sure that we're providing the right feedback in terms of what the owner wants to do. We might have a recommendation for you, but we want to just make sure that that's, you know, all right with you before we proceed with approving or denying that request. And on top of that, there's just a couple other paperwork things out there. Costs to put in the Navy flow meter, the casing pipe that can't be returned, and I think those are the other two things that we'd likely just need some owner feedback on.
Ben, one of the things I will mention to you, because I did some independent research on my own on this, and that is those big valves we're using for well 7 and 8 that are delayed. I know there's some bigger valves than that have been delayed up to 16 months. They're still not in, and I talked to Consolidated Supply, the manager yesterday, and he said absolutely it's a brass issue. You know, familiar with this low, everybody can't get brass and they can't get the valves. He said it's just the reality of things now. So it's not just them and their excuse on the, I'm just talking about the valves now, not talking about the other things, but specifically on those valves, that's an issue.
Sure, and we've been understanding with that, and I think that the issue from our standpoint contractually, and this is for you guys too as the owner, is we gave a 6-month procurement period in the contract to help address some of those lead times. We never heard anything about the delays for these valves until now. It's our understanding that they weren't ordered in that 6-month time frame. Now we're requesting a temporary shutdown, so that all factors in. Now, from our standpoint, we want to mitigate risk and additional costs to you guys as the owner on the project. We don't want to shut down a project and then delay things and have an increase in cost if we can avoid it. So I would just request, after we get an updated schedule from LARIVIIERE, we're going to peek at that and then have a couple options to run through with you guys. So I'd anticipate just a 30-minute meeting with a couple of members of the board in the next couple of weeks.
And I think also, Ben, what wasn't addressed was the fact that, as you just said, and this is key, that they didn't just order it, it wasn't ordered 6 months ago. It was something more recent, and that was a piece of information that's kind of been withheld, at least from my end of things.
Yeah.
But it was a long lead time, and my estimation is probably likely, it's been known that there's long lead times on that, and that should have been addressed at the very beginning of the project, in my opinion.